So, good afternoon. I think today is Tuesday, August 31st, 2021. We are slowly making our way toward the ERS September, October, November, December. We're almost on, no, we're more than almost. We're more than halfway across and through. Oh my God. These 365 days. It's been some tough living this month. First of all, the war is over. We are bringing our men and women home. Get over it, America. We're done with war. We're done with war in Afghanistan and Kabul. We need to get out of the concept of war, especially if you're looking at me, African American mothers, sending our sons and our husbands to war. Get a grip. I did not have children to have any of them interested in anything that would be in the war mentality, war preparation. I'm just not there. Because until you begin to treat all of us the same, we can't participate in your tomfuckery. I forgot to send my shout outs, but shout out today to Mr. Oz and DJ Randall on their Opinions While Black podcast that comes every Monday. So check them out. They're young men that have a lot to say and they have an awesome way of sharing their information with you. They're way more interactive than I am. I'm just talking to myself. Eventually be picked up by you guys to hear what I might be rambling about. Because these are just the ramblings of an old 75-year-old black woman. So let me just press on forward. I still got issues with Lindsey Graham and anybody else that wants to try to impeach Joe Biden. Let it go. Just because you're mad because we got Trump twice and we didn't really impeach him, we just took him to the mat, but didn't follow through. Your follow through has been shit. So don't even think about coming after Biden for the war in Afghanistan, okay? Because he didn't create this thing. You all have been there 20 years taking bullshit reports, never going back to see if the reports you were getting were accurate. So now you people 10, 20 years ago, you're the fuckers. Now you got it up to him where he's saying we're no longer going to go for this because, hey, man, we need this $3 trillion in the United States helping with our infrastructure. Yeah, it's not like the guys that are coming home from war won't have anything to do. How do you think your roads and bridges are going to get repaired? Who the... Mm. I'm trying not to curse. I'm trying just to really have a civil conversation with you guys today about this tomfuckery that's going on. I dare you guys. Oh, you don't want the war to end because you like war. Because for some strange reason, you like taking men and boys to the service, killing them all off, and leaving these women here looking stupid without any husbands. The jig is up. You need to find something else to do. We're tired of participating in your programs that don't benefit us. Going to war does not benefit me, especially when you're taking my baby's lives or my husband's lives. So get a grip. I'm done with that. No war for us. I did not, as a black woman, give birth to any children, especially sons, for them to go and participate in your wars and your ideas of wars and your concept of war. So get a grip because we understand in this thing called war, there are attitudes, there are disciplines, and there are habits. And none of the attitudes, none of the disciplines, and none of the habits work in African American or other minority families' favor. So y'all get a grip. You want war, go fight. Oh, but you know what? You're not going to do that because you got the results of your 2020 census. Yes, you did. And you found out that you all are losing numbers. A, because your women are not having babies for you. hmm And B, because if you're not having sex with a white woman, you won't get any white children. Ergo, Dan Patrick, Lieutenant Governor for the state of Texas. You think your segregated academies ain't coming to my forefront? Yes, they are. I want to know where in the state of Texas are these segregated academies because you're merely taking money from public schools. hmm And filtering some, not all of it, but some of it goes to these segregated academies, and they are more. These academies tend to fare better because their parents are middle class to upper class. I'm sorry, may not even be middle class, just upper class and beyond. Everybody don't get to go to a segregated academy. Oh, one, minority kids don't get to go to segregated academies because segregated academies are designed specifically for white children so that they will understand their it's not contribution, it's not concepts. Uh it will it will unmask the history story that you guys whites want to tell. Now, people of color, we understand it's all a bunch of shit. But to get your kids reinforced with the bullshit that you've given us for 245 years, say, man, gotta think a new thought. Your numbers are not there. And if your women are not having babies for you, who are they having babies for? Oh, Allah, so disgust. This is how the people of color are rising. hmm Just take a look at the census. Take a look at who wants to be classified as African American, who wants to be classified as white or Caucasian, who wants is checking other. hmm hmm And those others are going to be the albatross around your neck because, according to you, one drop of black blood anywhere makes that child black. Yay for me, not so good for you. So let me move on. So I'm still concerned about these segregated academies, but more importantly, on the Americans, the screen, the big picture for the United States of America, I don't understand how Flint, Michigan is still 3 or 4 years later, still, this is one more time, they are still without drinking and bathing water. Mm, dot, dot, dot. And the states themselves have decided not to accept funds, federal funds. They don't want federal funds in this mix. Mm. And I forgot where I was going with that. I'm not going to play it back to catch up. But there's just something, there is something going awry. Not in how you guys want to count, but the reality of your account that you're trying to keep hush hush, or you think most people don't already know. There's so many more of me, people of color, than there are of you. And what you white folk are going to have to do is get a grip and figure out how to share. The table is big, the spread is bigger, and everybody, all 331 million of us, should have a seat, my personal seat at the table, or who I give my not credits to, but support behind. Yeah. So I'm in that ramble. I lost really where I was trying to go, but let me just say, on the whole broad scheme of things, you folk, those of you who are in positions of power, have some responsibilities. those of you who are in positions of power are responsible for some things. Your responsibility to secure the efficient and effective functionings of the economy and defense for all our people. That means all 331 million of us in this 245-year democracy should be able to feel that the government is securing an efficient and effective functioning of the economy and the defense. Two big responsibilities that you people in power have to do. You're supposed to be securing the economy and defense for all of us that live in the United States. You're not doing that. You know you're not doing that. Why is Flint still without water? How is it that the people in positions of power to provide free water to their folk that live in Flint, Michigan, and you have decided to turn down continuing to get drinking and bathing water for your constituents? I don't know how in 3 or 4 years later we can look and say, we're no longer, Flint is no longer at the top of our concern. Right now, all we're talking about is Afghanistan and Kabul and the war. Well, the war is over. Get over it. You could be putting some of your wherewithal and knowledge into why we can't get no clean water in Flint. And what are you going to do with the water in New Orleans since we're just coming out of Ida and never got clear from Katrina? Come on, people. In positions of power, you got some work to be doing. You're supposed to be taking care of all of us. hmm You're supposed to be making sure that we don't have any economic insecurities. Why do we have them? Because you're not focusing on us. You're focusing on bullshit. What you think you want to do, and how you think you want to fight, and who you think you want to fight for you. It can no longer be me. I refuse. I refuse to let my husband and my sons participate in your tomfuckery called war. I forgot to say, let me just back up. Again, hey to Oz and DJ Randall on Opinions While Black. And yes, I stole a part of your program podcast too. This podcast right here, these ramblings of an old 75-year-old woman, these ramblings are just NSFW, not safe for whites, because I am coming after you, because I participated in your bullshit for 30 years. I'm 75 now and recognize that we are still fighting the same battle we fought in 68, 65. Have you lost your mind? Because when we come out of this thing right here, on the way to 2022 or 2024, we best get some clean water, drinking and bathing in Flint. Yeah, you do. You best be thinking about how you're going to deal with this H.R. 4, the John Lewis Voter Advancement Act. You got to figure out how you're going to deal with the George Floyd Police Brutality Act. You got to figure out how to deal with the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act. Do you realize that in the United States of America, which is 245 years old, we still have anti-lynching on the books. So you can still lynch me And if you talk enough shit, you can walk. Mm. I got a problem with that. And I have a problem with Plessy versus Ferguson. Yeah. And I have a problem with one drop of black blood makes you black. It's a great increase for my ethnic group. It's a hard hit on you white folks. So the Matt Gaetz, young man, Laura Ingrams, young woman, Candace Owens, young woman, Sean Hannity, young man, younger than me. Y'all talking so much shit. Oh my God. It's suffocating. ... CNN, CNN, and MSNBC, you need to think another thought also. Put some positive information out there in your daily, not roundings, your daily communicating the thoughts that you want me to have. I'm going to suggest that you got to change the way you want to look at things and provide more positive outcomes with positive solutions than all the bitching that you all are still doing. Okay? Just put that out there in the universe. Okay? Just put it out there in the universe. I'm still calling for women, all of us. We've got to do something. If you take your statistics and you ask Americans how happy are they, statistically, they're going to say that we are not the happiest people on the planet. Not by a long shot. We have too much hate still going on here. And the black-white issue is just, we're sick of it, man. We're not the freest people because how we treat everyone who is not white is a huge concern. So we're not free, especially everyone who is not white. If you think slavery, let me see, how can I put this where it will be palatable? Let me put it like this. So slavery may have ended, but the national attitude toward African Americans and other minorities has not been since 1619. You still oppress us, you still suppress us, you still demonstrate off-balance violence, you still demonstrate police brutality, and you still demonstrate economic instability. In your haste to be so evil, you're not only discontinuing services for me, people of color across the board, but you're also cutting the services to a lot of people. A lot of those 71 million that voted for the Trump ideology, a lot of you are poor. POOR 12 fund, POOR 18 fund, POOR 78 fund. You guys are poor. The majority of the 71 million are poor. I don't know how you think that Trump and his ideology is all great. I don't know how you get to that thought when you know as a poor person you are still living in a trailer park, not even a house. but a trailer park, and your children cannot get to any of the segregation academies because your needs are too great. These segregation academies were built for affluent white families to put their affluent white children in only, so they will be able to get the white concept of what the United States is all about. You know, you really need to think a new thought. We always like to think we can stand up toward racism, but being brave is much harder than it sounds. You cannot unsee what racism has done to the African American and other minority communities. Just take a look at us, from education to economics to entertainment to labor to law to even politics to religion to sex and war. Just take a look at how we interact into these 9 systems that have attitudes, that have disciplines, and that have habits that are not all good for everybody. I thought the goal of being in America and tapping into the American ideology is that we were here to protect and improve the material conditions of all people, 331 million in the United States. I thought we were all here to ensure that we all have a seat at the table. I don't know when you want to serve the table. I don't know when you want to start sharing the dishes that are on the table. But sooner or later, the accurate table of how the material conditions of all communities, minority communities in particular, have been an uplift. You have not been uplifting us. Oh, but you want me to go and fight your war. Oh, I can't do that anymore. Oh, that's just not the truth of me. So, you cannot unsee what racism has done to the African American and other minority communities. You cannot unsee what it has done in education. You cannot unsee what it has done in entertainment. Just think of the entertainment that we're looking at now. And I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but just take a look at what the entertainment messages are being sent out now about us. Just take a look. Just think about it. Just try to get there. Let's just inhale a minute. And let's just say y'all been doing some wrong things for a long time. And you're trying to move away from a democracy to an autocratic ideology. Don't think that's going to work. Because autocratic people have a lot of hate, and most of your hate is geared toward people of color. So my last little rant, which I've kind of been hinting at for the last couple of days I've been doing my podcast, is that women, 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 we are going to have to come together and join forces to ensure the improved conditions of our communities. We are going to have to come together as women, as white women, as black women, as brown women, as women of color, as women across the board whose values and destinies and outcomes have been marginalized and are rendering themselves vulnerable to these women. And then your poor white women, excuse me, poor white women, excuse me, poor white women, and you know who the F fuck you are. Why are you playing in this other realm of Trump ideology? I don't know. Because your grass dinner was just like my grass dinner. Because just like I don't have no money, you don't have no money. Just like you needed a fourth stimulus, I need a fourth stimulus. But because you are white, somehow you really think you get the same money that Trump, McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, Josh Hollings are getting. You're not. Mm-mm. And we need to rethink this, them five. Oh, I started to call them motherfuckers. But them five individuals right there got to go. That Lindsey Graham, that Mitch McConnell, that Ted Cruz, that Josh Hollins. Oh, that Paul Ryan don't never need to come back. Newt Gingrich don't never need to come back. Mitt Romney, Liz Cheney, all of you are fucker-uppers. Don't let me get started on the Democrats that are there. They've been there more than 20 years. And this has been my rant for the last 3 sessions podcast. I know some of you have been there and call yourselves Democrats, yet I don't have anything that is progressive or that is increasing or improving the material conditions of my communities. Sheila, you know who you are. Sinfronia, you know who you are. And all the rest of those black or white, you know who you are. And you know what you've done. And you know how you've lined your pockets. Because one thing about everybody that's sitting in the Congress, that is sitting in the Senate, that's sitting in the White House, that's sitting in them judgeships up there, y'all just getting fat off of everybody else. You're getting fat off of me. My income, my earnings, my contributions when I was out there grinding for 30 years. Your cards are coming due. Your punching outs are coming due because you've been there too long and everything that you've created does not work for the good of me. So I'm going to need you guys to rethink some things. It's been a blessing talking to you guys today. I wish we just find a good way to find peace. We don't have to be so angry. It just means we have to get up and choose not to be angry. We have to choose to be happy. And man, being happy takes work. And you really have to look at yourselves and know the truth of you. Know how much you're worth. Protect yourself and your family. And when folk ask you to create be create exclusions towards somebody else, just say no. There is enough here for everybody. Lord, let me call my roll now is down to 2 sheets. Yeah, I got 2 sheets of people that never should get back into positions of power. Yeah, that's what I got. But my son is waking up from his power now. So I'm going to get off the line because I've been here for a moment. Yours in liberty.